Interest in and financing for the blockchain, the ledger that provides an electronic record for Bitcoin transactions, abounds. Financial industry veterans are investing in startups, and comparisons are being made to the internet itself. How will this play out on Wall Street? We attended this year's Consensus 2015 conference and asked those investing in blockchain about the future of this technology.
I think a lot of the corporates that are looking at this space see what happened with Netflix and Blockbuster, and that parallel to them is very scary. Banking industry in general has been very much protected. There hasn't been much competition, and something like Bitcoin, which presents a scenario in which money, value, information can be moved without that clearinghouse, that trust mechanism we're used to, that's a huge influx of change for a very slow-moving industry.
There is tremendous optimism about the potential for the blockchain to revolutionize aspects of financial services, including the settlement of trades, which at the moment is a costly and slow process.
For our line of business in transaction banking, we're looking specifically at what it can bring to moving payments globally, faster, quicker, more transparent, lower cost.
How the blockchain may translate to the securities markets remains unclear. NASDAQ is the first major infrastructure operator to test its use as a ledger for privately held shares. Even it shares the caution about expecting too much too soon.
I think what you'll see, though, are some early adopters, some public companies that understand the benefits of a distributed ledger, some of the improved security capabilities, and just the precision you get out of an immutable ledger. So my prediction is we'll see some mostly technology and information security companies that are public today have an interest in potentially being the early adopters, but it's still a couple years away. That's why we chose to really innovate in the private market. We think there's that can happen much quicker.
While this is a time of great experimentation, can the financial services industry make it work without standardization, without its equivalent of the barcode or GSM for blockchain?
I think standardization will become very, very important. But again, I think we are going to see innovation at the edges first. But to do something in that core system, you're absolutely going to have consensus of the players and some standardization. And we know that takes much longer time.
In the meantime, startups are cropping up with investment coming from venture capitalists as well as the financial services industry itself. An achievable goal or a modern-day form of alchemy? We don't know, but it certainly won't be for lack of interest.
The VC funding and capital that's been deployed in the space is nearing $1 billion. This has changed very quickly in the past 3 years. One of the largest trends is institutional strategic money being put into the space. I'd say that's slightly different than what we saw in the early days of the internet. I don't think the industry as a whole is fairly accurate in its valuation. I mean, if you combine all the values of these companies comparative to what the market cap might be for Bitcoin itself, there's kind of a disconnect there. However, the moonshot concept of what you can do with programmable money, what you can do with digital assets on a decentralized ledger, there's no larger market than money. So the upside is huge. The question is how and when will that be executed? And at this point, we have no idea.